Let's talk about generative AI. You've probably heard the term thrown around a lot lately, and you might be wondering what it all means, especially for your kids. It seems like it's everywhere all of a sudden. And look, as parents, getting a handle on this stuff is absolutely the first step if we're going to guide our kids through it all.
All right, so here's our game plan. First up, what even is generative AI? Then we'll look at where your kids are running into it. We'll also tackle a pretty serious topic, AI companions. And finally, we'll get into how to actually talk about all this at home.
So let's jump right in. What in the world is this generative AI? I know, it sounds super technical, right? But the basic idea, it's actually way more simple than you might think. Okay, to put it simply, this is the kind of AI that doesn't just spit back information it already has. Nope, it creates brand new original stuff. That's why it's called generative. It generates content. So, don't think of it like a calculator that just crunches numbers. Think of it more like a creative buddy that can whip up a poem, draw a picture, or even write a song, all from scratch.
Okay, this analogy is honestly, it's perfect because all the jargon can be a real headache. So think of it like this. Artificial intelligence, AI, that's the whole giant category, right? Like the entire concept of transport. Then under that big umbrella, you have something more specific, like large language models, or LLMs. That's a type of AI, kind of like how cars are a type of transport. And then you get even more specific with something like ChatGPT. That's a single product, like a specific car, a Toyota Corolla. It really helps you see that these tools we hear about are just one small piece of a much bigger picture.
And here's a great way to talk about this with your kids. Seriously, use this exact line. You can say, imagine you have a robot that can think a little bit like you. It frames it as a super assistant. That's so much better than some scary, mysterious technology, right? It immediately makes it feel like a helpful tool, which is exactly how we want them to see it.
All right, next up, where are your kids actually, using this stuff? Because it's probably a lot more common than you think.
So yeah, it's really everywhere. They're using things like ChatGPT to get ideas for homework. They're making these crazy, fun images just by typing in a few words with tools like DALL-E. And maybe you didn't even realize this, but it's baked right into apps they're already on, like Snapchat with its My AI feature. So it's not just for school, it's for fun too. And we're not just talking about a few kids here and there. Check out this number, 74%. That means nearly 3 out of 4 teens are already using AI to help with school. They're doing research, they're summarizing articles, they're brainstorming ideas. The truth is, they're not waiting for us to figure this out. They're in it, right now. Okay, but not all AI is just about doing homework or making funny pictures. Some of it, well, it's designed to be a companion, a friend. And honestly, this is where we really, really need to be paying attention. And that leads us to a really important question. I mean, these AI chatbots, they're built to be your friend, right? They're always there, always nice. But what happens when your child tells this friend something serious? Maybe they're being bullied or they're feeling really down. Can we honestly trust a piece of software to give them good, safe advice? The scary answer is probably not. And there's a really good reason for this concern. Experts, like Dr. Nina Vasan from Stanford, point out something absolutely crucial. Kids' and teens' brains, they're still under construction. Things like impulse control, managing big emotions, that's all still developing. This makes them way more likely to form these really intense bonds with an AI friend. Bonds that can feel totally real, blurring the line between what's real and what's just code. So let's just spell out the risks here, because they're serious. These AI friends, they're designed to be perfect. They never argue, they're always available. It's a frictionless relationship. And that sounds nice, but it can really mess with a kid's idea of what real friendship, with its normal ups and downs, is supposed to look like. And even worse, because the AI is programmed to agree with you, it might just validate dangerous ideas. It might say, you're right, to self-destructive thoughts, instead of saying, hey, let's talk about this, pushing a kid deeper into isolation. Okay, so we've seen the good, the bad, and the kind of scary, but we're not helpless here. Let's switch gears and talk about what we can actually do about it. How can we help our kids handle all of this safely and, smartly? It really all comes down to talking about it. And here are 4 super simple, practical rules you can start using at home, like tonight. Number 1, be a fact checker. You gotta teach them that AI can be super wrong. Even when it sounds confident, always double check. 2, protect your info. This is a big one, a hard rule. We never share personal stuff like our name, our school, where we live. 3, It's a tool, not a brain. It's great for getting ideas, but it's not a replacement for doing your own thinking. And number 4, and this might be the biggest one, do it with them. Get in there and play.
And hey, getting involved doesn't mean you have to give a boring lecture. No way. Make it a game. Sit down with them and try something totally silly and creative, like this prompt here. Write a story about a woman who climbs a beanstalk and finds a unicorn. See what it comes up with. When you do that, it stops being the secret thing they do in their room and starts being a fun family activity.
Yeah, go wild with it. Ask it to write a song about, I don't know, bananas, but in the style of Taylor Swift. The point is, when you play with it together, you're doing something really important. You're taking away the mystery. You're showing them how it works and where it falls short, all in a totally safe space. And you're proving that it's a tool for being creative, not just a shortcut for homework. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. Generative AI is here to stay. It's not some fad that's going to disappear. It's going to be as normal as the internet or a smartphone. But instead of being scared of it, we can get curious. We can have open conversations. We can set clear rules. If we do that, we can help our kids become smart, thoughtful, and safe users of what is, without a doubt, a really powerful new kind of technology.